Hi everyone, this is Heather Lautanen from the Flourish.Academy, where our goal is to empower, educate, and elevate you to create a life that you love through the art and business of photography. In this video, we are going to add lens flare inside of Photoshop. But first, make sure you check out our sponsor, ymcamera.com, for all of your photography needs. Before you add lens flare to any photograph, I'd like you to ask yourself the following question. Was the sun present in your images? Because if there wasn't any sun, then adding lens flare is not going to look right. Now, obviously we have sun in this photograph. This sun flare was captured in camera, so I can use that knowledge to appropriately add it to this image. I'm going to begin by duplicating my background layer with the Command or Control J on the keyboard. Then I'm going to right click and convert this layer to a smart object so that we can use smart filters for more flexibility. Let's go to the filter menu, choose render, and then lens flare. This is a fun little filter. You can change the look of this flare by changing the lens type. This is largely going to be personal preference or what you're going for in the particular image. I am going to select the 50 to 300 zoom because I was actually using my 70 to 200 zoom, so I feel like it would match it the best. The brightness is obviously how bright you would like that flare to be. You can also click the origin of the flare in order to move it around and even change where and how the orbs will appear on the photo. So I'm going to place it up here and say okay to that. And if we look at the before and after, that looks pretty good. I'm not really a fan of orbs of light going in front of my subject, but that's okay. The nice thing about smart filters is that they come with lens masks. So if I wanted to, I could mask out some of that flare on her, or I could also come in to the filter again and make adjustments to maybe where that is falling or how it looks. But while we're here, I want to show you another technique to accomplish this that actually gives you a little more flexibility. I'm going to add a new blank layer to this image by holding down Command-Option-Shift, that's Control-Alt-Shift on the PC, and then the letter N for new layer. I'm going to press G on my keyboard in order to access the paint bucket and fill layer 2 with solid black. Stick with me, this will make sense in a moment. Then I'm going to go back to the filter menu and choose render, lens flare, and this is really nice because I can really see what's happening with this flare. It'll help give you maybe a better visual of what this is going to look like. So I'm going to place this flare maybe right about there, reduce the brightness a little bit, and say okay. I'm going to hide the visibility of layer 1. That's the layer we just worked on. Now we have our background in layer 2. I'm going to change the blending mode of layer 2 from normal to screen. And it's just going to show me that flare. I can turn that on and off. Now, why do I like this in terms of flexibility? Because I can press V on my keyboard in order to access my move tool, and I can move that flare around for a more precise placement. I could also press Command or Control T on my keyboard in order to access the free transform tool and maybe rotate it and place it differently. Then I would simply press Enter or Return to commit, and you could look at that flare before and after. I don't have any problem with you using this layer 1 method by converting to a smart object and using smart filters. It has some great flexibility as well. This is just if you want added flexibility. You can also come into layer 2 and reduce the opacity. Maybe you just didn't like it as strong as you had it. And lastly, I'd just like to say that this layer 2 is pretty useful for me because in the next video, I'm going to use this to see if I can recreate lens flare inside of Lightroom. I'll see you then.